What's going on with Ethereum, and most of all, which is the behavior of the whales? Are they buying or selling? Because it's undeniable. The chart of Ethereum looks pretty ugly and I would say even terrible, honestly speaking. It is just in a downtrend since November, and we even broke the support level that was holding us since more than 1 year. So it's not definitely good. But I found a couple of metrics that usually could indicate a reversal. What I want to do with you today is, from one side, showing you these indicators. On the other side, I want to show you the behavior of the whales, because something is changing and it's happening exactly right now. Before digging into the matter, guys, remember that this channel is just about educational content. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's fine, but do always your research, and that's so important, guys. I'm here just sharing what I'm finding, but it's on you digging more, having your own opinion, because it's your portfolio. You are the best consultant of yourself. Guys, don't forget also to leave us a big thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section, and let's dig into the matter. So let me share the screen with you. And I want to start with CryptoQuant, because I have prepared for you a recap of what different kind of users are doing. As you can see here, this chart that I will show you just in a second is showing us what users, for example, in this case, what users with a balance between 100 ETH and 1000 ETH are doing. And as you can see, it is a dramatical downtrend. So it means basically retailers are reducing their holdings, so they are holding less of the supply. To be fully fair with you, it's important to remember one thing. It's not fully true. I do think that, or better, I don't think that this chart is telling the whole story, mainly because probably users who are having between 100 and 1000 ETH could have started using more DeFi. Let's not forget that starting from 2021 and on, the DeFi came out, and as you can see from this chart, you can notice start from 2020 and beginning of 2021, these levels started to diminish. So it is possible that thanks to the airdrop policies, thanks to the fact that you can use ETH on DeFi, smaller users could have started using more DeFi compared to the big users. Again, that's just an assumption, but I want to give you also the counterparty, because it would be a nonsense simply saying, guys, oh my god, retailers are simply leaving the space. Yes, maybe partially could be true. I do think that many left the space and many are not anymore exposed to ETH, but I don't think that this chart is telling us the whole story. If you try to amplify and checking out what users with 1000, 10,000 ETH are doing, as you can see, it didn't change much during the last years. The number has been pretty steady, so the kind of behavior doesn't look changed at all. If we instead start to take and analyze users between 10,000 K and 100K, we can see an interesting behavior. So first of all, what happened is that in July 2022, June, they started to, increasing their balance, and they kept it up until May 2023. That's pretty unusual, and honestly, I don't have an answer for this behavior, because if I could hint that in July 2022, something regarding the going through proof of stake to, or better, proof of work to proof of stake in the case of Ethereum, it could have affected the behavior of how different kind of users are accumulating ETH. But in this case, it has been prolonged also in 2023, and we know that this time, if we take 2023, we are May, for example, this is the long-term chart of ETH. You will see that in 2023, yes, we had this peak in April, so that's true that from November to April there has been a growth, but after that it has been a decline. But at the same time, yes, until August the price has gone up. After the price has been suffering again, just in time to recover in April 2023. So what we can say is that maybe they recognize that they did a mistake accumulating this area, and they start dumping again when they reached when the price reached again this level over here. So it's like we are betting that the price of ETH could skyrocket thanks to the going from proof of work to proof of stake. It is this point. It didn't go through because the price has gone down. So when the price starts to recover and reaches again the same price where it was here, we start selling. I mean, in this case, the decline hasn't been so sharp as the decline that we are seeing here. So it's really tough to make an assumption. What we can say is that there is this kind of anomaly here that is suggesting something happened, and maybe someone has played more accounts. Maybe they have simply withdraw from DeFi here, and they started to use again here DeFi, just maybe to farm something, some airdrop. I don't know. What is undeniable on the other side that once they found a bottom, they started to increase their balance in a much more organic way, because as you can see, these kind of spikes here and also down here, they look like something in that moment happened. It doesn't look really like a trend. On this case, in this case, so starting from March 2024, this one looks like a trend. And again, right now we are at a local high. So pretty interesting to know. Even more interesting is what is happening with whales with balance more than 100k. In this case, the behavior all along the time has been much more clear. So you can see here decreasing. This was the bottom of the previous about 2 bear markets ago. After that, again increasing, going down. It was the time of the COVID crash, and after the COVID crash started increasing just up to the top of November 2020. And that's interesting also because that's the same time when we had a top on Bitfinex. I mean, if you check here, you will notice that this point here, so if we try just to hide a little bit of okay, this top here was in December 2020, and the same happened here. This top is around end of in November 2020, and starting from this point they started to sell, and the same kind of behavior happened here. It was less organic, much more with ups and downs, but it reached the bottom in December 21. If we check when they reached the bottom was I mean, yes, they reached the bottom around mid-April. They started accumulating a little bit more, but at the end of the story they have been organically going down until the real bottom that happened just, guess what, just a couple of weeks ago. That's interesting because for the first time in the last we can say 5 years, we are seeing big whales start to accumulate again. I have also to add that this movement, even if it's interesting because we have regained the levels of 2023, it's still not prolonged enough to say that it's a new trend, uptrend. I would love to see it growing up for another couple of months before saying that it's a new trend. On the other side, what we can say is that if this is a new trend, usually it doesn't happen just during the big spike into the price. It is happening in a phase where the market is slowing down before being able to grow again. So it could hint that at the moment we are in this situation over here. Let me show you on the chart. So we broke this level over here. So we are down and that's not good. So it is possible to see the price of ETH going sideways or just recovering slowly, but not seeing this kind of big uptrends that we have seen in the past. This kind of big uptrend could start much later if the behavior of big whales could be any kind of an indicator, because if this is a new trend, it could last for at least another 3 to 5 months. So if it will last for another 3 to 5 months, it means that yes, maybe the price of ETH could grow, because remember, it peaked in the previous cycle in November 2020, and if we check the price in November 2020, it was around here. So it also means that from the bottom to here, it did, 4 times, so that's a lot. So it doesn't mean that we have to stay exactly at this point. We can definitely reach something like 3,000 and something like that. But it is unlikely that in the short term, if again this is an indicator and if they will keep accumulating, it is unlikely to see the price of ETH simply spiking up in the coming weeks or in the immediate months. I'm more bullish on what will happen starting from August. Remember that US are discussing also the whole law about stable coins, and that could be a push also for the whole market. By the way, guys, keep an eye on these charts, because even if we don't know exactly if something is causing the behavior of the price, definitely could have a role. And if this chart will keep pushing as we all hope, definitely that could be something good for Ethereum. And overall speaking, honestly speaking, if you ask me, I'm bullish on Ethereum. I could be obviously wrong, but let's see what will happen in the coming months. Guys, let me know what you think about Ethereum. Let me know what you think about this chart into the comment section. Don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.